Hi folks, Sasquatch here. Hey, got a little different video for you today. We're in the middle of a job sawing the Doug fir logs that are laying here I'm about to cut. It's actually a custom job, and we're cutting 2x4s, 2x6s, 1x10, and 1x3 for board and batten. And this one log here is a Porterford cedar log that somehow got mixed in. Anyway, we're cutting for a couple out of Utah, and they bought a piece of land here in our little town, and they're going to be building some sheds and stuff out of this lumber on their piece of ground. Anyway, we're going to cut these logs up here. The two orange marks that you see, so let's just say you got a 20-foot log. The mark says where the length is that I want. Like, for instance, that's a 12-foot log right there to this mark, and then what's left over is an 8-foot, and I have Mel mark these like this, because what I do is I cut right in the middle between the orange lines, and that gives me my overlength on my lumber. So the way we cut our lumber here is we like to have at least 4 inches overlength. So if you got a 10-footer, it's 10'4". So I just think it's really nice for people to be able to trim back their lumber and, you know, have a little bit of overlength. Unlike the lumber yards, I don't even know what they're at now. I think it's like 1/2 inch, which is a joke. So anyway, we like to give some guys some trim. So anyway, the logs usually come in, but about a foot of trim on. So hey, why not pass it on? Anyway, so the orange marks are basically to mark where we're going to cut the log, and then it has the trim and everything in there and all that good stuff. So anyway, so going to be cutting the logs today with a this is a 385 Husky. It's got a 32-inch bar on it. So you guys are probably wondering, why in the world is Sasquatch using such a big chainsaw for such small logs? Well, Sasquatch is getting lazy, and he doesn't like to have to bend over. So he uses a 32-inch bar. So really about the only reason why. Plus this has a lot of horsepower to get the job done a lot faster, and everything goes well that way. Again, not promoting Husky or anybody else, but I do happen to really like this saw. It's an older model. We bought it used off of a person and got a good deal on it, so it works good for bucking up logs here in the yard. Anyway, so we're gonna get at it here. We're gonna make some noise, and you guys can see how we get her done. Sasquatch out. It's not cutting very well, so we gotta change the chain out. Hi folks, Sasquatch here. Hey, just wanted to make a video. We're doing Doug fir today, and we never sawed much Doug fir on this mill. It saws hard, I can tell you that. It saws hard. This stuff, it's one of the strongest woods for a reason, structurally. So it's prized for all kinds of stuff, structural framing to interior millwork to exposed beams, all kinds of stuff. Doug fir is a very versatile wood, and it is strong. And it saws strong. This stuff, it's kicking the butt on the Woodmizer here. So we're also dealing with some dirty logs too. These things are just covered in sand and whatever, and very frustrating indeed. So we're going to be getting some of this stuff cut up out here. Doug fir is king on the West Coast. It's considered one of the premium woods. So anyway, we're going to be cutting away here. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share, guys. I appreciate it much. So hope you guys enjoy. Sasquatch out. Now these here will go ahead and edge off. These are bigger logs.
Here you can see the Sawyer and Mel scraping off bark and cleaning off the log to mitigate the dulling of the blades from the sand and dirt on the log.
It's not clear, but it's just a really super nice log. And of course, like always, it's one of the things I really hate about this Woodmizer is the lousy turner that's on it. Tell you what, guys, if you can afford the extra money, go up to the next step, get yourself the LT40. It has a chain log turner on. This ratchet stop came right to the you know what. Anyway, nice log. Should get a lot of 1x10 out of it. By the way, the one I do love about this mill is the clamp. The hydraulic clamp works really awesome. Without it, this burner would be absolutely worthless.
I wanted to share some interesting facts about Oregon's state tree, the Douglas fir. The Douglas fir was named after the explorer and botanist David Douglas in 1826. The Doug fir has been an integral part of American history and is still the most utilized species of wood in the U.S. for everything from construction to Christmas trees, as you can see here. The Doug fir was used in World War II for footlockers to portable huts and even rails for stretchers. It was even used in 1925 to restore the masts of old Ironsides seen here. The Douglas fir grows to a height of 40 to 70 feet and a width of 12 to 20 feet at maturity. The tree also grows by 13 to 24 inches tall per year. Some trees can grow in a spiral pattern as seen here too. Doug fir timbers are becoming more and more popular for both interior and exterior parts of construction. Surprisingly, Douglas fir wood is considered softwood, but its features allow it to be used in place of hardwoods. It has predictable strength and high quality appearance.
So one thing I want to mention, folks, that I haven't mentioned before, Woodmizer is absolutely correct, and it's not a sales gimmick when they say it. Get as much automation, as big of a motor as you can possibly afford. It really is true. And I will say, this ratchet style log turner frustrates the living daylights out of me. And it always has ever since I've had it. It's a joke for a turner. In fact, most of the times we're better off probably using a PV to actually turn the logs. So they definitely need to, well, actually they have come up with a better mousetrap. It's called a chain log turner, and they work great. And so it's very frustrating when you're in a production situation and you're sitting there screwing around with your log turner trying to get the log turned. So thank God I have a hydraulic clamp on this mill, because otherwise if I couldn't raise and lower that and assist with the turning of the log, we'd have a real problem. So with that being said, I do like this gas engine. It is the biggest one they put on the LT40. It's a 38 horsepower EFI, which means electronic fuel injection, which is good. But I can tell you, if I'd ever do it over, I would definitely go electric for one thing. If you're not going to be out on the road and you're going to be permanent, my advice is definitely go electric if you can. Even if you don't have three-phase, either go with a phase converter or go with a generator, either one. So anyway, electric, you would not believe how smooth it is. I actually ran a mill one time with an electric motor on it, and it cuts unbelievably nice. And it's quiet, that's another thing too. If you can't do an electric, definitely go with a diesel if you can afford it. So I believe they're still putting Yanmars on these, I'm not really sure, but Yanmar actually makes an excellent diesel engine. So anyway, that's just my opinion. You know what they say about opinions. But anyway, everybody has one, right? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video. And I will give you guys more thoughts and stuff on the mill itself as we go. I know some of you folks that are watching these videos are probably considering buying a mill, I don't know. But just like I said, remember that rule. Get as much horsepower as you can afford and as many automated features on the mill as you can afford. It's gonna really help assist you with cutting your wood, and you'll appreciate the automated stuff a lot. It'll save your back, trust me. Sasquatch out.